weather couldn't hold us down too much longer. We are back from Richard Siegel Soccer Complex in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. MLS Next Cup U17 quarterfinals. Baltimore Armour facing off against Inter Miami on a beautiful Wednesday morning here outside of Nashville. We'll show you the bracket. It's been a tight one. A lot of close games, a lot of penalty kick finals in the U17 round of 16, including Baltimore, who overcame Queen City Mutiny 4-3 in kicks. Inter Miami able to get past Cedar Stars Academy Bergen by a 2-1 final to set up this quarterfinal matchup. Miami, the only MLS Academy left in the U17s. Welcome to the broadcast booth alongside Kalen Carr. My name's Evan Weston. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Up bright and early with us is we've got a really nice matchup to kickstart the day.
Yeah, exciting one here between Baltimore and Miami. And Baltimore have been able to ride really good goalkeeper play through the knockouts, have continued in penalty kick shootouts, and Inter Miami will looking to see if they can be the lone representative from MLS to try to climb their way throughout the tournament.
Yeah, Miami, the standard bearer for the MLS Academies, rolling out a 4-3-3 as they try to advance to the semifinals.
Yeah, and keep an eye here in the middle with Lucas Robbins in the middle to be able to see if he can continue his hot form. Had a really nice free kick goal, excuse me, in this last matchup against Cedar Stars to bring them to this round of the play. So 4-3-3, I think it'll look a lot like we see Miami play, using those wing plays with Cortez and Corrales on the wings and then finding Betancourt up top.
Meanwhile, for Baltimore, we're not entirely sure how this lineup is going to shake out in terms of how it plays on the field, but this team has just grinded their way through this bracket so far.
Yeah, you got to find a way in tournament play, and sometimes that's come down to shootouts, and they have that confidence coming through. And the standout for me has been Chelowich. He's been so strong in goal, committed to go to University of Maryland, but has been a really strong player throughout this tournament. One to really watch as far as one of the top goalkeepers in this tournament.
We'll take you out live. There is Chelowich, considered a top young prospect at the U17 level. As Kalen mentioned, he will have to come up big today against a Miami team that scores a lot of goals. So we get set to bring you the first of 3 broadcast matches today from the MLS Next Cup quarterfinal rounds. We'll have a couple of U19s, including a mini El Tráfico later this afternoon. First things first, though. Miami trying to get past Baltimore. We show you today's schedule. Coming up later today, we'll have the New York Red Bulls against CSA Bergen in the U19 bracket at 12:15 Eastern Time. And then that El Tráfico game, LAFC, LA Galaxy, even at the U19 level. Always a banger, 2:30 on the MLS YouTube channel. Baltimore Armour in gray. Play their games on the Bob Lucido Fields at Covenant Park in Ellicott City, Maryland. One of the top academies in the Mid-Atlantic. Having a great week here at MLS Next Cup as they get set to take on Inter Miami. Obviously a very new academy, started less than a decade ago. The first team joined Major League Soccer back in 2020. But just a few headline additions for Miami in that time, and that certainly created a buzz amongst South Floridians and gathering players to their academy. They've already had big success. Remember, Benjamin Kramaski had a huge MLS Next campaign a few years ago, now a staple for Javier Mascherano with the first team. Enzo Sosa gonna kick us off for Baltimore as we get set to rock and roll from the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex here in Murfreesboro. Sosa kicks us off. We are underway. Baltimore looking route one right off the start, and we're going to have a throw-in for the Armour deep down the near side of the field to begin play.
Yeah, and very important for both teams to try to set the tone early and come out for an early kickoff, switch fields, and you just really want to see if you can set the tone and really come out with the right intensity to begin with. So these first tackles, these first second balls, any kind of long throws, these little details become so important to find your way, find your footing in this game.
We have an early long throw in here for Jan Hernandez. This has become a really in vogue tactic in the last couple of years all around the world. Teams more chances in the box. Hernandez into Dijon Fosu, right back out. Cross is blocked. Kerala's fighting for it and cleared away by Miami out towards their center forward. Betancourt takes a lovely touch, and that'll get Robbins in down the left-hand side. Robbins plays across. This is Lucas Cortez. Touch takes him a little bit wide. Keep it alive down the line, Ortella. In the box, Cortez. Lots to do here. He'll have a corner.
That's so good there from Miami to get out of pressure. And you're right, that first touch there from Betancourt really opens up the whole play to bring that down under pressure. Just so delicately cushions that ball with the top of the foot and then finds it to Lucas Robbins, who's gone out to that left flank, and he whips that ball across. Really good counterattack from Miami to get out in space.
Cortez will take the first corner of the match for Inter Miami. The big center back, Kai Anthony McLean, in the mix. Ortella, the right back, in the 6, right up against Celowicz. Spiraling corner. Celowicz spills it briefly, but has enough presence to fall on top of it.
Yeah, and Celowicz is going to be a player to watch throughout this tournament. Has already put together a really good string of performances for Baltimore to bring them to this point. Multiple penalty shootouts throughout MLS Next Fest, and then found their way here all the way into that last round where they won on penalties in their last match, and it's going to have to stand tall again today.
Hernandez to toss it in. Flick along towards Fosu. Alex Urquidi getting in front of him. Extra Baltimore player in there, but nothing doing as Miami come away with the ball. Corrales to Robbins. Doesn't quite come off. We'll have a throw in for the Armour.
Yeah, but you can see just in these early few moments a little bit of a contrast in style, with Baltimore electing to go a little bit more direct, just trying to pin Miami back, and then Miami trying to build out of pressure quickly with more intricate passing patterns. And it'll be interesting to see these two contrasting styles, who's able to set the tone and put the game on their terms.
Cuellar can't find a teammate. Here goes Miami on the break, looking for Betancourt. Wysong does a good job to walk it back to Celowicz. And down the other way, Sosa will challenge Quinton John. And McLean sends it skyward. Team's blasting it back and forth now over the midfield, and have a throw in for Miami on the near side. Yeah, Baltimore is win the ball, head up and go. Seems to be the plan here for the Armour.
Yeah, sometimes it may just be throughout these first few minutes just to see if you can play the game on the other side of the field and just start to tilt the match in that direction. When second balls pin Miami in, not allow them to get settled, and then as the game opens up a little bit, you then start to bring out a little bit more of your possession game and soften up the opponent early on in these first few 5 minutes of this match so far.
Spell of possession here for Inter Miami. We know their first team philosophy is one based around possession, something they push through their academy levels. A free kick here for Miami. It was a first team that kind of lacked identity for those first few years, but signing the greatest player of all time tends to provide a little bit of that for you, and a bunch of his friends to go along with him.
Yeah, that's the interesting part, of course, about Miami now playing in the Club World Cup and having the profile of the greatest player ever to play. But the other part of it has been also bringing in some homegrown players. You mentioned Benjamin Kramaski, played on these fields at MLS Next tournaments, GA Cup, just a few years ago, and then now playing with the GOAT, and all those fantastic players of that pedigree, and beginning to make a name for himself as well for Inter Miami.
More than likely, a few players you see watching these games this week are going to become impact players at the MLS level. That's what makes this such an intriguing tournament. Who is the next future star?
Yeah, it's been interesting for me, Evan, just getting a chance to get it firsthand, being up close and personal, walking around the complex, taking in MLS Next Fest and going through GA Cup and seeing, really the different styles of play. So I go around and see, hey, the Galaxy, how do they look compared to their first team? How do their principles of play matriculate all the way down through the academy, the players they bring in? What does an Inter Miami player look like? How's that different from Cincinnati or Philadelphia? So many different styles of play and really interesting player profiles that I think one day we'll see a lot of these names, as you mentioned, make their way all the way up to the first team. And
so great to get clubs like Baltimore Armour in, too. I mean, you look at this U17 bracket, 7 of the 8 teams left are elite non-MLS academies. And a lot of these guys are going to get looked at by those MLS clubs, by colleges. Tons of college coaches here this week. Have a throw in for Baltimore here down the Miami end of the pitch as the Armour continue to assert themselves.
Yeah, and that's a part of it, as well as playing under that pressure of watchful eyes of MLS teams, some international scouts, college, you mentioned, agents, media. So a lot of different factors to think about as far as player development, not just necessarily just thinking about with the ball at your feet, how you perform, but how do you handle those external environments and put that within the scope of trying to win this game and pick up a trophy for your team.
Cortez draws a foul for Miami after Baltimore with a sustained bit of pressure in the penalty area. This has not been a first 8 minutes or so in which either team has separated themselves. It does feel like this should be pretty end-to-end, Kalen.
Yeah, and I think these first few minutes, you also want to just be able to feel each other out. You can see Miami just picking and probing, staying patient with the ball, trying to work Baltimore from side to side to see if they can open up some space. And when they win it, can they get in behind? That hasn't quite come off as of yet here, but going to look to see if they can repress Baltimore. But every time they try to, you can see Baltimore looking to go direct quickly.
Sosa's offside as Chelowich went long. Action all day long here at MLS Next Cup. The playoffs into their quarterfinal rounds, all building up to the finals on Saturday and Sunday. To be streamed right here on the MLS YouTube channel. Robbins. The line, Ortella. Ortella does well to keep it. Des Robbins. Lost to Urquidy. Have to chase it down. Now it's Baltimore pinned back. Ajay Des Robbins across to McLean. Robbins looking to get Ortella in behind. Ball hangs up, coming down into the penalty area. Cuellar flies across to get it clear. Sosa got in the way, but unable to bring it in cleanly. It'll be throw in for Miami. Nice to see these patterns of play, though, from Miami, trying to play through Robbins, get their wide players in behind.
Yeah, Robbins and Des Robbins have done a really good job of finding that partnership in the middle, just right in front of that back line, but being able to switch the point of attack has been key for them early on in these first few moments, and then once they win it in that position, can they then get in behind?
Miami just about keep it. Alexander Shaw bringing it back. Looks more 4-2-3-1 for Miami. Robbins playing as a number 10. There's Des Robbins. Robbins turning. Ortella, the right back, getting forward. Very disciplined and structured from Baltimore defensively thus far. Here's John. Little dummy by Corrales, but Betancourt not there behind him to get on the ball, and Chelowich will bring it in. Baltimore, they've been stingy defensively all season long. suffering quite a bit and getting through that Queen City Mutiny tie on penalty kicks. Here's Cuellar with a foul on Corrales and a free kick for Miami.
I've seen a few times with Corrales checking back 2 feet and Baltimore applying that pressure. It's generally the longer pass where that's the trigger for Baltimore to press, to not allow Inter Miami to easily collect that ball and turn and face. So it's been good pressure. These are the ones where they try to jump, where that longer pass, good win there from Baltimore.
Cuellar looking to get Sosa in, and all the way out is Marco Simeon to push that away. Good play by the Miami goalkeeper. Sosa might have been in. Here they come again. Phoenix. And Briseño dispossessed. Stab back into possession, though, for Baltimore. Briseño looking for Sosa, too much on it. So as it turns out, the formation we were given for Baltimore is exactly correct, looks like.
Yeah, we had a feeling they were gonna maybe take a bit more of a defensive slant just based on their record and style of play. They've continued to push. You can see Sosa up top. It's gonna be the spear of that point, but a pretty compact shape for the most part from Baltimore to begin this game.
Robbins launching it for Cortez down the right. Picked up by Briseño. Cortez slips it into Robbins. The slide across. Corrales there. Inter Miami take the lead. Arturo Corrales from Lucas Robbins. It's the attacking midfield line for Miami.
Yeah, it's so well worked here, and it starts with the outside of the right foot ball there from Robbins, but he doesn't stop there. He continues his run. Watch this little run in behind. A lovely little slip ball, and he just checks his shoulder and sees Corrales on the back post there, but from start to finish with Lucas Robbins opening this play up, lovely little slip ball in behind, and then picks out that back post, and Corrales with the easy tap in to give Inter Miami the 1-0 lead here.
Beautifully worked play. By Inter Miami. Corrales, a recent signee for the Miami Academy. He joined less than a year ago from Athletum FC. 2008 born left winger. Baltimore trying to get it right back. Ortella, fancy footwork in the penalty area. Counter pressure from Baltimore. Cortez, nicely done to get through it. And now Robbins can get going. Just rolls out in front of him on that fast turf.
Yeah, but really impressive early moments here from Lucas Robbins, who we ID'd in the pregame as a player to watch. And that final ball over to Corrales. Easy tap in, but to be able to begin that play with the outside of the right foot ball to spring Miami free in space, but then not to stop, to continue his run. Really well done there.
Little shot from Utah Phoenix. Didn't have a whole lot of options there, just kind of poked it at the goalkeeper, but Simeon up with it.
That's better from Baltimore, though, just being able to pick that space in behind. We've seen them go direct, but generally haven't found that runner to connect with. And see Simeon just coming a little bit off his line there, and it was clever from Phoenix to try to lob it over him.
Miami looking to add to their lead. Baltimore set up to absorb quite a bit, now chasing the game early. These are full 90-minute games in the MLS Next Cup playoffs, unlike some of the earlier tournaments in the season where the teams play 60 minutes. It is a grueling week for these players. Get all the way to the end. This team's looking to book a trip to the semifinals on Friday, and Hernandez is down.
I think you may have jinxed it, talking about the brutal week and the difficult stretch, and right afterwards, you see Hernandez go down. Just looked like potentially without contact, so we'll have to wait and see how he is evaluated. Of course, make sure that he's safe to continue in this match.
Well, they're going to get the trainer out there to check on Hernandez. Take a peek here.
You could just see it just started to look a little tight and tensed up right there, and it's right on the end line, plays it out of bounds himself, understanding it's been a grueling week, as you mentioned, going into 90-minute matches. The weather, it's warm, we're not playing at 9 a.m. kickoffs just for fun. It's a part of understanding that it's just hot. You see players here having to hydrate, take care of themselves, and that's a part of dealing with these conditions. You get to the MLS level, you're eventually going to play in all types of conditions, in altitude, heat and humidity, turf, all of the different factors, and it's a part of managing these tournaments.
Take a look at the U19 bracket. That's our action coming up later this afternoon. Unlike the U17s, this is dominated by MLS squads. Cedar Stars Academy Bergen, the only elite academy left. They're going to take on the New York Red Bulls in our feature game at 11:15. And then LAFC and LA Galaxy at 1:30. An eye on that Orlando team. That's the same squad that won the GA Cup at this age bracket. They've got Toronto at 11:15. RSL Philadelphia also coming up this afternoon.
Yeah, I saw that Orlando team win the title in Sarasota, Florida at IMG, and it was an impressive side. Justin Ellis, Caraballo, a lot of players that were there. And a lot of those players still going to be involved today. I believe Justin Ellis is here for the tournament.
Yes, he is.
A lot of talent, and the MLS teams tend to put more resources towards the U18, U16s, U15s. So U17s, it's not a big surprise for me to see that only Inter Miami is the only team still remaining. But as you mentioned, a lot of depth, even outside of MLS academies, really good talent on display throughout this tournament, and names that I expect to see professional ranks.
Good to see Hernandez able to continue here as he stretches out that left leg. Hopefully just a cramp for him. As Jackson Gresham goes long for Baltimore. Fosu going to run after it. Urquidi smartly heads back to his keeper. McLean. Another little dummy to get Robbins on the ball. He pokes it forward and gets wiped out, but the flag is up. They're going to get Betancourt for offside, I think. It's a free kick for Baltimore.
I think they may have called this one back to the point of the foul, actually. They had elected to continue with the advantage and then realized it wasn't quite on, but it's a lovely little flick ball in behind as Baltimore looks to press. And this touch, you can see there, Robbins gets the touch, and then comes the contact in. So the right decision ultimately to bring this back and give Miami possession.
Yeah, Betancourt was offside, but it doesn't matter. The play brought back to the foul. A little too far back for Miami to set anything all that creative up with it. They'll have to just keep possession nearing the 20-minute mark with a 1-0 lead through Arturo Corrales. Quentin John bringing it forward from left center back. Urquidi. John for Betancourt. And he's offside again.
It's going to be important for Inter Miami to use their center backs as an extra attacker, with Baltimore sitting a little bit more deep and being compact. Can John and McLean step forward with the ball at their feet and become passers? That ball comes in, just the timing a little bit off on Betancourt. Needs to be careful with that line there to be able to get that position a bit earlier.
Looks like 30's down for Miami. He just got back up.
Robbins was having a bit of an issue for Miami, but back to his feet would be the reason for the short delay here. And back to it. Hernandez gets going for Baltimore. Looking long again for Fosu. Bounces up a little awkwardly on the turf. John able to get it away. Broken up by Phoenix, but only as far as the touchline. Baltimore, they're thick in Route 1 every time they get on the ball, Kalen, but they've yet to really string a whole lot together. Their best moments were right off the start of this game, and since the goal, it feels like it's kind of dropped off a little bit for them.
Yeah, they came out strong, and outside of those first few minutes, just that one chance that they're able to find Utah Phoenix just in behind, and just need to be able to have a little bit more of a runner in mind when that ball goes long, where you see somebody ghosting in, maybe more of a diagonal ball than a straight one, and it's just the slight changes that I'd expect to see them make as this half continues.
It's Miami back in possession with their back four. John squeezes it back to Simeon. Nice possession play here from Inter Miami. Ortella up the right. Looking for Robbins, picked off by Winnick. And right away, Route 1 for Baltimore. And go all the way back to Simeon.
Yeah, but it's going to make it difficult for themselves if Baltimore can't keep some sort of passage of possession there. That ball going straight in behind, but immediately they have to chase, and you can see Miami just stretching them from side to side. This is better here from Baltimore to win it.
Fosu in good position with the press. Winnick can't hang on to it. Des Robbins comes away with it. Clipped forward by Shaw, looking for Betancourt. Ball bounces kindly for him. Betancourt wrestling away to get on the ball, using all that big body and strength. Now Corrales slices it across. Shaw. Robbins. Shaw again into the penalty area, headed away by McGuire.
Good idea there from Shaw to try to just play that early one first time and try to stretch him behind. Another good little ball there from him, playing quickly.
Cortez racing after it. He'll get there in the corner. Broken up and out for a throw-in off of Gresham, the left center back.
But Miami have been good as of late as far as just picking up the tempo a little bit when they've been able to find Robbins, Shaw, getting on the ball quickly and then playing that first time ball instead of taking that extra touch, not allowing Baltimore time to get set.
Ortella to throw it in just in front of the flag for Miami. Cortez. Ortella trying to dance around Briseño. Into the area, Chalowich over Corrales. A needed intervention from the Baltimore keeper. And he goes long. McLean heading back right into Miami. Ortella, Cortez, Cuellar getting in the way for the Baltimore Armour. Very nicely done. They can't hold on to it, though. That's been the theme here. Got it back through Cuellar once again. Briseño knocks it back. Gresham looking over the top. Fosu running after John. They get tangled up. Fosu with the first touch. It betrays him just a little bit. Still on here, though, with Hernandez. A blast from behind by Des Robbins. Much better there from Baltimore.
It was really good from Baltimore to play out of pressure with a few short ones, and that sucks in Inter Miami. And then from there, they were able to get that ball in behind, and really good fight here from Fosu just to wedge his body in between to continue to push forward. Really good recovery there from McLean, and the ball comes all the way back to Hernandez. You can just see from that angle, as he takes that touch, it's still bouncing. It's a difficult one to try to take in the air, and then the contact comes in just a little bit late there from Inter Miami, and now sets up the set piece opportunity for Baltimore Armour.
So Najee Des Robbins with the foul, and you have Hernandez and Briseño, the wing backs, standing over the ball here. First real set piece opportunity for the Armour in this game. Had to level this one after the early goal from Corrales for Miami. It's Hernandez. Popped straight up. Simeon punches away. Miami gonna get out. Can they counter here? Betancourt pops it sky high. Cuellar sends it back the other way. Corrales heading central. Glances off and away from Betancourt. Come back down the other way, and Simeon just about stays in his penalty area. Little chaotic there, but ultimately Miami deal with it.
That was a good set piece. I thought well worked there from Hernandez to cleverly use the run of Briseño to misdirect and think they were going direct, and then that curling ball from Hernandez.
This is opened up. Cortez flashes high. Miami get in a little bit too easily here, Kalen.
Yeah, it's the second ball that drops there, and really good layoff from Betancourt to keep that one down, and then Cortez just not able to get on top of that. You want to strike that one low and hard across the frame because you've got Betancourt right in front crashing. Any knockdown then gives your players a chance, but good little interchange there from Inter Miami.
His front four from the Herons has looked very, very promising. If you're a Miami fan, you just want to see that next generation. Off to a good start here in the 28th minute in the MLS Next Cup quarterfinals, U17 division. Here's Sosa.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Good work, baby.
Hernandez. Sosa will get on it near the corner. John with him. And turn right over to Des Robbins. Corrales up the line. Betancourt lays it off. Here they come again, but Robbins for the first time takes a touch too far out in front of him.
And they had a 3v2. It was a dangerous look there for Inter Miami, but that first touch just gone missing.
Robbins right back to it. Overcooks it a little bit for Cortez, and Baltimore back in possession. Briseño. Love this immediate counter pressure from Miami. He's causing all sorts of problems. Baltimore will have a throw in here off of Cortez. Miami in black, Baltimore in gray. Winner will face the Michigan Wolves Real Colorado winner in the semifinals. Free kick heading Miami's way. Foul on Sosa. Right now it's the MLS Academy in control. McLean, Shaw. Baltimore get in the way of the return. McLean, though, going to chase this down in front of Phoenix. Phoenix staying with it. Can't keep it alive. What does Baltimore have to do to turn this around, Kalen, get a little bit more control here?
I think just picking their moments to keep some possession. We've seen them elect to go direct at times, but some of their best moments have come at least with a few short passes to begin with, and that allows Miami to step their line of confrontation up, suck them in a little bit, and that opens up space in behind, because otherwise it's too predictable, especially when you have two center backs the size of John and McLean.
Simeon to midway. Knocked down to Hernandez. He can only pop it up. Baltimore at last wins the free ball. And straight away they go down the field. Hernandez working against John, who does nicely to push it out off of Hernandez for a Miami throw-in. Been a lot of running so far for Quentin John and Kai Anthony McLean at center back, but they've held up well. Across the half-hour mark with Miami's lead intact. Baltimore listening to you a little bit here, Kalen. Drinking a little water with the ball. Gresham. Briseño. Guiding it forward towards Phoenix, but there's McLean to take a perfect route to it. Fosu pressing Simeone. He goes sky high. Ortella racing after it. That one went over the touchline. It's a Baltimore throw-in.
We saw them go long from the other side with the long throw here. And interesting to see if they try the same approach or they try to vary it up. Looks like may hand this one off, yes, for a longer option.
Well, Gresham opts to go backwards. Come across to Jeremiah Maguire. That one is broken up and Robbins ends up with it. Slides it forward to Betancourt, who can't get it out of his feet. Another promising transition opportunity for Miami goes by the wayside. Ortella trying to get him another one. Briseño holding up well. Bounces off Ortella, now Cortez going to work. Cortez spinning through, stays on his feet. Lucas Cortez lays it back. Betancourt can't get away. All that hard work by Cortez ultimately does not amount to much, but what an effort there individually by the right winger.
Yeah, that was really well done by Cortez to use two players against each other. I think each passed on the responsibility and he was able to split between the two of them and then find Betancourt, but really great individual effort there, showing his ability on the dribble.
Here he coughs it up. Winnick breaking up the pass. Miami win it back. Here goes Robbins. Looking for support. Robbins wiped out. Thomas Wysong taking no chances, and now a dangerous free kick for Miami. Take a look at this from Cortez again, though.
Yeah, this is so clever here. To beat one and then start to use his momentum to cut it back and then to twirl just at once to drag it in between. Excellent balance. Then that last little pass was missing. Betancourt maybe could have released it, and then here you see Robbins out in time and space and Wysong coming across. Correct decision with the yellow card.
Cortez, fancy footwork. Wonder who he's been watching back at home in South Florida. Very honest of him to stay on his feet, too. I think he probably would have had a free kick, but kept on going. Nearly created the second goal. Now they'll get a chance on the set piece. Robbins over the ball for Inter Miami, already leading 1-0 through Corrales. Low liner into the box, easily interrupted and cleared. And whatever the plan was there was not executed the way it was intended. Now Phoenix wrestling with Shaw and Des Robbins. And it's Cortez in the end who wins a free kick for Miami. Robbins going quickly. Looking for Corrales in behind. Broken up by Maguire. It's a corner.
Yeah, but really clever there from Robbins. Seen a few times now with Inter Miami setting up free kick, taking their time with it, and this time elects to go quick when Baltimore had maybe put their heads down just for an instant, and Corrales looking in behind now. Get the corner kick out of this one, but really nice change of pace there and awareness from Robbins.
Robbins has had some time with the US U15s. He's a good prospect. Will turn 17 years old next Tuesday. It's a name to know out of this Inter Miami Academy. He's certainly impressed so far in this one. Love the corner here. Towards the back of the area, Fosu heads away towards Cuellar. Des Robbins from 35 yards flying in, trying to make something happen, but it's blocked. Now Baltimore can't squeeze it out on the break. Urquidi trying to float it past Fosu, couldn't get it done. Now Hernandez clears for Baltimore. This will come back to Robbins. He'll just keep it in possession. Shaw. Cortez dropping into that half space, couldn't hang on to it. Had a lot of pace to it. But Winnick and Briseño gonna combine. Get it away, Phoenix. Shaw runs him down, free kick.
Oh, come on. Let him play.
Now it's Baltimore's turn on the other side.
Miami committing numbers down this right-hand side. They've been really effective with Cortez, Shaw, and Robbins creating those wide overloads. But when Baltimore win it, can they go quickly? Can they find Utah Phoenix just in that little half space in behind them? Found him just behind that midfield, and then as Miami try to recover, they end up winning the free kick.
Hernandez zings it in. Urquidi clears away from the top of the box. Come back to Carlos Cuellar. Gonna launch it right back in. Falls for Hernandez wide. One-time cross is blocked. Cortez for Miami going in transition. Cortez able to beat Winnick. Now it's Corrales. Slips it right back along for Cortez. Baltimore getting numbers back. It's Winnick with a great tackle to win it off Cortez. Lovely stuff from Will Winnick in midfield. Miami, though, win it right back. Betancourt, good center forward play. Now it's Robbins. Robbins accelerating into the penalty area. Tripped up, and he ends up with just a corner out of it.
Yeah, really nice stuff from Robbins. Once again, has had a really bright first half. Has the assist on the first goal, helped create that one, and then you can see just that one-on-one ability at the top of the box, the change of pace to go to the left foot, and then here, fakes to strike it, and then takes that long touch, tries to see if he can get this one across, ends up just losing a little bit of his balance in the end, but excellent one-on-one ability there from Robbins.
Another corner coming from Miami. We round into the final moments of this first half. Chelowich this time had a good read on it.
A great command of his box. You can see some of the qualities so far from Chelowich that have made him such a highly touted prospect, one of the best goalkeepers from his age in this tournament, maybe even beyond it. Committed to University of Maryland, the legendary coach Sasha Sarovsky, and also says he looks up to another Terp, Zach Steffen.
Miami playing right back into the penalty area. Robbins with a strike, big block by McGuire. Robbins with a sizzler. Jeremiah McGuire with a good block. And Sosa fouled by Urquidi, free kick Baltimore.
See Miami once again coming down this right-hand side, and then the cutback is on, tries to play it quickly in between. Robbins recycles it, and then strikes it from distance, and McGuire does a really good job of coming across and crowding that interior space, but the other side, Baltimore just doing a good job to take some pressure off them once they get it up top. Held up very well there from Sosa, just to draw this free kick ability and see if they can win something in an attacking position.
Fosu with a header on a comfortable save in the end from Simeon. Dijon Fosu did well to get to that, but couldn't put a lot of power on it.
Yeah, just going direct. We've seen this throughout the match, and it's really well timed to come across the face at the last second from that blind spot from Fosu, just not able to get enough on it from that distance.
Now Miami again, Betancourt into traffic. McGuire pushes away. And then a foul on Des Robbins on Cuellar. Or Sosa, pardon. Cuellar now to take the free kick. About 5 minutes left in added time in this first half. Corrales' early goal in about the 11th minute. 13th minute, there you go, holding up for Inter Miami. They've probably deserved that lead based on the balance of play, Kalen, but Baltimore certainly showing that when they get their big guys up front, in behind, they're going to have threats. Chelowich trying to do just that, but he lobs it straight to the other goalkeeper.
Yeah, Miami in the run of play have dominated more of the possession, particularly down this right-hand side, have found a lot of success. Cortez, that little slip ball in behind to Alexander Shaw. finding Robbins in behind, and Corrales puts it away. But some really nice interchanging of positions from Miami, and they've been the team, for me, that's been much more controlled today.
Throw in off of Briseño. It's a Miami throw. Now Cortez has played up with the U18s at points and playing here with the 17s at MLS Next Cup. Miami has designs on winning this whole thing at this age bracket. The only MLS Academy left, but looking very good.
Yeah, we see that quite a bit where players are able to switch between age groups. Even Alexander Shaw, another one, he's gotten some opportunities with the second team as part of the U19 squad that played in Spain recently against some top academies like Atletico Madrid. And I think that sort of changing between playing with different age groups can be really helpful for your development, to test you and put you a little bit outside of your comfortable environment.
Winneck off of John.
Baltimore have
It's
to
a goal
take
kick.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to go the other direction.
I did too, but after a little bit of waiting, it is a goal kick in the end.
I was just about to say, Baltimore need to take advantage of any opportunity they can to generate an opportunity, whether it's a long throw. We've seen them go from pretty much anywhere looking to go direct, and corner kicks, set pieces, all of that. If you have to find a way back in this game to end this half, especially the timing of a goal right before halftime would be crucial for them.
You see so often in these youth games, chaos in the box can turn things very quickly. It's Cuellar. Des Robbins all over him. And then Hernandez and that's Corrales get tangled up. 3 players are down. Cuellar got wiped out as well. As everybody gets checked on, we'll remind you we've got 2 more games coming up later today. The last elite academy left on the U19 side, Cedar Stars Academy Bergen going against the New York Red Bulls. And then our young El Trafico, LAFC, LA Galaxy, 2:30 Eastern time, all airing here on the MLS YouTube channel.
Is that one going to be like the El Traficos that I know, or it's just craziness, goals, end-to-end stuff? It has to be. I don't care what age group it is. Got to tune in for El Trafico.
That'd be the Hoven El Trafico.
I like that. I like that. I could see that.
Well, we'll show you this sequence again as Corrales is still down. He got crunched between Hernandez and Phoenix.
Yeah, and it actually looks like the 2 Baltimore players may have made contact as well.
Phoenix and Hernandez are back up. Still checking on Corrales here as we near the end of the half. He has the goal for Miami in the 13th minute of this game. Probably the easiest goal he's scored in his young life, as Robbins and Cortez worked a beautiful play down the right side to set up a tap in for him. And he gets back to his feet. Good to see. Arturo Corrales. His goal, the difference is we should get a good chunk of added time here at the end of the first half. And Corrales, after getting back to his feet, is shown a yellow card. He was at fault in that collision. So Corrales booked, and now Briseño on for a free kick. Big set piece opportunity for the Armour. 5 minutes here at the end of half number 1. Mateo Briseño spirals it in, awkward, and Simeon has to dive out of the way. It'll be a corner.
And with a left-footed free kick taker, it's always going to curl in that direction, and it kind of catches Simeon just a little bit unaware. I think he's thinking that's going to go towards the pack of players and ends up tailing on him at the last minute here, but Baltimore need to continue to apply this pressure.
That might have gone in if he hadn't reacted quickly. Now a spiraler that is not going anywhere near anything. Goal kick, Miami.
Yeah, but with all those players just in advanced positions before the halftime mark, you want to try to just give your players a chance. Bring those center backs up. Wysong, McGuire, all these center backs to be able to try to cause some problems. You just saw Simeon maybe having a nervy moment, and to then not give your players an opportunity, you want to try and see if you can make the most of those.
This will land out for a throw-in from McGuire. He'll leave it for Hernandez. A few minutes left here in the first half. Baltimore looking for a momentum swinger right before the break. This is Jackson Gresham. Go long for Sosa. Stabs it away from McLean. Sosa to the middle, Winnick. Much better here in possession from the Armour. Here they come. Briseño. Sosa. Cuellar. Back out Briseño. Fakes the cross, trying to take it to the byline. In it comes. Cuellar in the box, shot blocked. John got in the way. Now straight up in the air. Fell for Winnick, but he couldn't handle it. Now Cortez looking to go the other way. Betancourt, center forward, spins it into Robbins. And there's Winnick to win it back.
But easily the best moment of the match as far as a passage of play from Baltimore. And it was the patient possession and the build-up that we're able to find that opening space. It didn't quite come off as far as that final shot or opportunity, but you can see them with more confidence building as this half progresses.
Cuellar, whose shot was blocked at the end of that passage. A little to the back three. A couple of minutes to go here in the first half. Baltimore looking as good as they have. Sort of built some confidence. Gresham. Up the line. Nicely done to find Sosa. Now it's Cuellar. Broken up by Des Robbins, and now Robbins can go out on the counter. He'll float it out to Cortez. Bounces it forward. Who did that touch last? It is a goal kick. Never touched Jackson Gresham, per the linesman.
Take the middle. Come on, guys. Let's go, come on. Let's go in the middle.
Chelowich for the goal kick.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Will fall for Cuellar on the second ball. Phoenix battling Des Robbins. And a free kick as Shaw fouls Phoenix in the center circle. Final minute of added time. Let's see if Baltimore wants to move some folks up here from the halfway line.
Phoenix was in a good spot there, but that first touch just got caught a little bit underneath him as far as being able to turn out and get it to the other side quickly.
Hernandez, good touch. Rolls it back. Cuellar in. Fosu turns, shoots. Deflected off of Shaw right down to Simeon. Baltimore wanted handball. Not given by the referee, and that should allow Miami to see out this half.
This is better from Fosu to take that touch, understanding he's got that space, and tries to take it off the bounce there, and see it does come off that arm, but referee decides it's in a natural position, and better moment there.
There's the halftime whistle. Arturo Corrales in the 13th minute from Lucas Robbins, giving Miami a 1-0 lead over Baltimore Armour. U17 quarterfinals here at the MLS Next Cup playoffs in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Back in a bit with more from the cup.
attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. The jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
You ready? MLS is game on. Dochi? On. Stars on.
Kevin Sullivan, the history maker.
30,000 friends? On. Rivalries on.
Versus New York City.
MLS, this is our soccer. Game on.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at mlssoccer.com/summer.
The youngest MLS debutant, Kevin Sullivan. Luna. Yes! That is a banger! Absolute scorcher! Spectacular save from Dane St. Clair.
Welcome back to the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Inter Miami with a 1-0 lead over Baltimore Armour in one of our Spotlight U17 quarterfinal matchups. Arturo Corrales, Kalen, with the goal.
Yeah, and it's really well worked here. This outside of the right foot ball to spring Cortez into space from Robbins, but watch him continue his run here. It continues, little slip ball in there, back to him, and then picks out the back post perfectly to Corrales streaking in. But this little inside-out ball that comes across, then squares it. Easy tap in for Corrales, but sniffs out the opportunity, and Inter Miami take the lead here.
Lucas Robbins consistently threatening for Miami throughout that first half. He ends up with the assist. Miami probably could have gotten the second goal on the break, just never quite came down for them.
Yeah, they got into a few of these 3v3 opportunities, but the touch there from Cortez just goes a little bit high as opposed to his favored left foot there. Just not able to get the right contact onto it, but they were able to use this right side pretty effectively, getting into these one-on-one spaces. Once again, the little cutback, 1-2, drops back to Robbins, strikes from distance, but really well done from McGuire to get in front of that one.
And then right near the end of the half, we saw Baltimore get a little bit of joy. It looked like something that might be able to build on into the second half.
Yeah, Baltimore grew as the half went on. He had the long chance there that Fosu goes from the header, but that possession that we saw in those last few minutes was much better from Baltimore, and need to see if they can carry that momentum forward into the second half here.
See, Edin Estrada has come on for Baltimore in a forward position. Looks like he's replaced Phoenix for Baltimore Armour. Estrada, 2007, one of the older players on this roster. Wearing that number 9, gonna add a little bit more up top as Baltimore chases the game. It's Briseño finds Estrada in space. Early chance for Estrada, but he can't get the bend on it.
Yeah, but why not? Set the tone early. Really good ball there from Briseño just to release him in space, but coming to the game, you want to make an impression. I don't mind the opportunity to go from distance. Just didn't get the right curl on it in the end, but it's the way to come into the game.
It looks like a true two-striker setup for Baltimore with Estrada in the game. It was really more 3-4-2-1 with Phoenix and Fosu playing underneath Enzo Sosa. Baltimore going to get a little bit more aggressive, as you would understand, chasing a knockout contest here. Don't look like there's any changes for Inter Miami. Why would there be after a really solid first half from the Herons? Estrada again making himself known early here. Gonna switch it to Hernandez, but Urquidi heading back the other way. Corrales, nasty little touch, and there he goes. Hernandez trying to win it back from Corrales with a blast, and Chelowich watches it go wide. Well, Corrales did so well there to get around a couple of defenders, but perhaps better options on the back end of that.
A little bit of a heat check where he was able to get by one, then two, and then decided, why not? Might as well have a go from distance. And like that ingenuity from Corrales just to use the momentum of the players against them and just lift the ball around him and pass it around the other side of him.
Chelowich long off the head of Fosu. Ortella spinning it back the other way. And offside against Betancourt. Free kick to Baltimore. Gresham going long. Estrada. Cuellar does well to keep it away from Betancourt. Hernandez. Broken up by Corrales. More possession to start, though, for Baltimore, starting to build off what we saw in the end of the first half, where they were finally getting some real sequences together.
Yeah, and it was a surprise when we saw them build like that, because they had chosen, for the most part, to bypass the midfield throughout the first half, and their best moment came from that build in the midfield. So how do you find that balance of when do you want to go direct and when do you want to utilize that midfield? They have the talent. They've shown the ability to break down that Miami four in front of that back four, and just have to continue to trust their ability with the ball at their feet in the second half here.
Briseño trying to line one up. Early cross in towards Fosu, but headed away by Shaw. Hernandez. Take it inside. Low for Fosu. Wide towards Cuellar. He spins one into the box. Towards Estrada. Ortella gets a header there. Good play in the air by Jeremy Ortella, the right back.
He was in the right position as well, too. It's one thing to have the ability to get the leap, but that positioning to be in that spot there, really important for Ortella to be in that position.
Miami can't keep the ball here. Now they win it back. Off the foot of Hernandez, it was Cortez. Now Robbins, head up racing forward, and puts it between his two options. Ends up with Maguire. Robbins trying to win it back, fouls Cuellar. Miami not quite as connected as they were those first 45 minutes. Baltimore imposing themselves a little bit more. Can see the confidence growing. Maguire towards Fosu. Estrada has already made a big difference coming off the bench. Just ran into too many black jerseys right there. Briseño turning it back.
Be smart. Trust your feet.
Seems like Estrada's added kind of a target forward presence for them that they didn't really have in the first half.
Yeah, and it's allowed Briseño to slide to the left flank as well, too. Naturally left-sided, left-footed player. So that's brought them a little bit more width. So you want to try to see if they can stretch out Inter Miami and send them end-to-end.
Here goes Winnick. Gresham, the center back, coming forward. Briseño wide with that left foot, trying to work around Cortez. Cortez wins the duel. And then turns it right back over. Winnick in space. Winnick well wide.
Yeah, but it's a good spot there from Winnick to just be in that position to understand that you've put Miami under pressure, but the rest defense where your positioning is against the ball, when Miami tries to play out, he's in the right position, takes that second touch forward. He's trying to cut across that one. It ends up tailing on him at the last minute, but good positioning.
Strong start to the second half for Baltimore.
Let's cook, baby. Let's cook.
Managed a penalty kick win over Queen City Mutiny in the round of 16. Trying to get a level and maybe set that up again here with Miami.
Head down, chest down, big dog.
Now the Herons will have a throw in with Ortella. Mateo Briseño, the left wing back. Don't see a left wing back sporting the number 10 very frequently, but Briseño showing that playmaking quality with that left foot. Cortez draws a foul. One on Carlos Cuellar. Now Robbins will line up for the free kick as McLean gets forward. Keep it low. Little training ground set play. Cortez flicking it in. Corrales was trying to push it along, but no one on the back end. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, Miami have tried to go direct a few times, but Celowicz has been big from that goalkeeper position. This time they elect to go short instead. A little clever combination play. Just try to find that little pocket of space. That ball pops up in the air, though. That makes it difficult in the end for Corrales to get into possession, find that last pass.
Here's Maguire, the captain. Launching it towards Estrada. Simeone out of his penalty area. Hernandez being ordered back behind the halfway line to throw this in. Baltimore looking to knock out the final MLS Academy left in the U17 age group. We'll have the U19s coming up after this, and that is almost all MLS academies. Good touch there for Fosu, but he can't hang on to it. Ball ricochets back to Estrada. Here's Edin Estrada getting towards the area, and Des Robbins runs it down to at least slow things up. Now Briseño gets in behind the cutback, knocked away, and nothing in it, says the referee, as Sosa takes a tumble in the box. Baltimore, though, knocking on the door. Winnick looking for Estrada. Ortella does well to shield the ball.
You can see Baltimore just getting in this little pocket of space on top of the box, and it's a good recovery, but they continue to fight for it. Briseño's able to win this, and watch this just right on the byline there, using that left foot, the outside, just to create that inch of space, and not enough for me for a penalty, but really good pressure in these last few minutes from Baltimore.
There's Gresham trying to keep it from Cortez, who's done a lot of defensive work here so far in this second half. Briseño going to ground to win it back. Estrada slides it across. Sosa can't quite beat Simeone with Quentin John draped all over him.
But that's why they went to the two-striker formation at halftime, bringing in Estrada. Just bring that extra number, so when you win it back, you cut it back across. Once you have one striker wide, the second can stay in the box here, and just that final touch there from Sosa, not able to corral it, but I think the shift at halftime, or Mike Lookingland and Baltimore Armour have been right changed to bring better starting position for them in the second half.
Catch the future stars of Major League Soccer in action at the 2025 MLS Next All-Star Game presented by Allstate. 44 of the best young talents from across North America face off in an East versus West showdown. Streaming Monday, July 21st at 7:30 p.m. Central from Palmer Field, home of Austin FC2. Only on the MLS YouTube channel. Plus, join us in Austin to watch the game live. Admission is free and open to the public. Don't miss your chance to see the next generation. Speaking of, here is Fosu driving in, lays it across, poke forward, save Simeone. Sosa trying to gently tap it in, and Simeone comes up with a big stop. The flag was up in the end. So even if Sosa had scored, it wouldn't have counted. But Simeone, that big save won't go on the stat sheet, but what a play by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and it's been really good build-up play, and this will be where that slight touch there.
I'm not sure he's off.
That's a really tight one there from Fosu. Just as far as, was there contact made on that ball? And that little flick on. Assistant referee spotted the contact came, and that Fosu have been in an offside position based on exactly where the spot is of the foul. But Baltimore, with that extra number, have caused Miami some problems in these first 10 minutes of the second half here.
Dijon Fosu wearing the armband for the Armour alongside Maguire. It's been consistently dangerous. Simeone trying to flip the field. It's going to bounce all the way to Chelowich.
Those are still ones that you'd like to see hit the back of the net, even just for confidence sake. Sometimes just to say, okay, well, this one was called back offside, but it's a striker. Seeing the ball hit the back of the net, this is good here from Fosu.
Good turn, but then he can't squeeze it forward to Sosa, picked off by Urquidi. Now Corrales coming up against Winnick. For the striker, Betancourt down the line. Betancourt, no real option there. It rolls out for a goal kick. Miami absorbing a lot of pressure here in this second half. How do they get back to where they were in the first? Maybe a substitution will help out, as Corrales, who's on a yellow card, will head to the bench along with Lucas Cortez. Into the game, Chaz Williams and Maximo Armando. Armando, one of the youngest players on the roster. Here's Williams, fresh in off the bench. Robbins trying to play his way through, but nothing there. Looks like that'll move some players around for Miami. Armando going in at center back. Urquidi has moved from the left to the right, and Ortella has gone forward as a winger. So it's a 3 center back system now for Miami. So adding an extra center back to go against the 2 center forwards, Kalen. Fosu. Send it back as Baltimore retakes possession. Good turn by Cuellar. Fosu bumped off by Des Ravens. They keep it. Cuellar out wide. Estrada. Cross is deflected, pushed away by John. On the other end, Hernandez, what a save! Simeone dumps it out for a corner. Hernandez hit that pure and clean, and Simeone called into a big save.
And the second half has been all Baltimore. You see the slight deflection, and as it drops down, it's on the bounce. And how about this technique here from Hernandez, just to strike across this one. Such pure contact, and Simeone had to be alert.
Corner off the head of Robbins, all the way out to Briseño. Tries to take a shot. Simeone will play it easily. Not sure if maybe that was just a hopeful lob forward, but ultimately ends up with the Miami keeper. 15 minutes they've been able to see off this pressure. Can they last another 30?
And all the possession that Miami enjoyed in the first half has all but disappeared. You can see the line of confrontation from Baltimore higher, and the second striker has allowed them a better starting point to be able to push, but Miami breaks that first line here. Can they get out in time and space and see if they can go quickly? But once again, Baltimore doing a good job recovering.
Robbins, good footwork up the line, Lerner thrown. What do you make of the addition of a 3rd center back for Miami?
I think it's more about getting a better base to be able to defend those 2 strikers, because it was 2v2 with that matchup with Sosa and Estrada coming into the game, and so you add that 3rd number, gives you an extra man to defend those 2, and I think it's an adjustment based on the way that Baltimore began the second half. It's been difficult for Miami to deal with.
Both lines of center backs mashing it back and forth. Shaw stepping up to win it. Robbins guiding it forward, hit it away by Wysong. Hernandez. Long, looking for Sosa, but it'll hang up on him, out for a Miami throw. Looks like we've got a change for Baltimore. Michael Lemming, 2009. The youngest player on either team is going to make his way on for Briseño. So Lemming goes right in at left wing back. And right back to it, Betancourt, in tight spot for Williams. Now at left wing back for Miami. Williams lobs it in, Chelowich there in front of Ortella.
Anything in the air like that is going to be easy work for Chelowich. Just his ability to command that box, looking to get out quick in transition.
Second ball, knocked into the air by Maguire. Falls for Winnick for Baltimore. Gresham spins it out wide. Here's Sosa, work to do, and it kind of hopped up on him there. John gets it away. Robbins manages to squirt through 2 defenders. Robbins taken down, free kick. Foul on Jeremiah Maguire. And perhaps fortunate not to get booked there. Robbins was very nearly in.
Yeah, he's been the one safety valve to release and break pressure, and you can see here, just gets that right foot in front, just inside of Maguire. thought the ball was going to be there, and we've seen that a few times today where Robbins just has that ability at the last second to get that last little touch, has the balance, the technique, the control, and that awareness to understand when the challenge is coming in and gets that touch to it quickly.
Yeah, Robbins looks like one that could very well factor into things for Miami down the line. This is a very talented young player. They're checking him out here. He took quite the spill there, getting knocked by McGuire and Hernandez after creating a little space for himself.
Yeah, he's a highly rated prospect and I believe is committed to UCLA for now, but as you mentioned, a lot of different pathways for players to find their way to the professional ranks, but the technique just looks comfortable at this point, and playing in these tournaments, sometimes guys just jump off the page a little bit, and to begin with in this match, we knew Robbins had the quality, but has lived up to it.
Terrific assist on the Miami goal. Play that started with him as well. He's back to his feet as Des Robbins takes over and then defers to Quentin John on the ball.
And that was the part that stood out to me, was the work off the ball, because you see, especially at the young ages, guys that come to life when they get it. And they say, okay, well, I'm going to express myself. And it was the outside of the right football into space, but then the run after it to get it back again. That was the impressive part. And, of course, it ends up with the goal right now. That's the difference.
Miami have earned a corner. Chaz Williams putting some pressure on Hernandez, who has to walk it out. So a set piece, chance for the Herons to maybe double their lead against the run of play here, or at the very least settle this game down a little bit, as Robbins will make his way right back on to take the corner.
It looks like they'll just keep one on Chilowitz to try to occupy him with Ortella, and then send numbers in a pack. Keep an eye on the little picks to see if they can create some openings for someone to get free on the end of this.
Looks like we've got a sub for Baltimore. Hernandez is coming off for Baltimore. He will make way for Chase Page. Miami also making a swap. That is Isaiah Rodriguez checking in for Des Robbins in central midfield. Here's Robbins on the corner. Spins it towards the back post. Maybe trying for something truly special right there, but it evades everyone, out for a goal kick. Chelowich sending everybody long. Line drive, Lemming. Looked along towards Sosa. There's John, so imposing. Winneck comes away with it. And John again interrupting. McLean will pop it out for throw-in. Free it up for Lemming here on the left-hand side. The 2009 born left wing back. Shoot it back to Gresham. Gresham spins one towards the back of the area. Fosu leaping, heading towards the area. Simeon gets a piece. It's out for a corner. Sosa and Simeon had that land right between them. Sosa managed contact, and it's a great save in the end.
Yeah, well, it's really well won by Fosu to begin with, and it's often the second ball that is the most dangerous. But how about this save here from Simeon? Getting that left hand to it. I don't know how much he knew about it, but just had to close out, be in good position, shut down that angle, and important intervention because Baltimore looked like they had a really good opportunity to equalize.
They changed the call to goal kick as it did bounce off of Sosa after the save. Simeon able to get it free, and it'll fall for Shaw. Trying to flick it into space for Betancourt, who wasn't quite ready for it, and Chelowich will see it in. With Kalen Carr, my name's Evan Weston. Appreciate you coming along with us. We're so glad to be back after some weather interrupted our first few days of planned broadcasts here from MLS Next Cup, but we are good to go. 3 games today. Cedar Stars Academy Bergen against the New York Red Bulls at 11:15. And then the 1:30 p.m. El Tráfico Joven between LAFC and LA Galaxy is a Miami player in need of a stretch here. Everybody can catch their breath, and Miami has gotten more than halfway through this second half, absorbing a lot of pressure, some big chances for Baltimore, Kalen, but the Armour yet to break through.
Yeah, it's been really high level from both sides. I thought Miami had the clear better the first half, and the second half, it's been all Baltimore. I think they've been the aggressive team. The tactical shift at halftime by the manager, Mike Lookingland, I think has set them up really well. And you know, Miami now having a quick water break, but I would imagine also for Chris Nurse and his side wanting to regroup a little bit and see if they can get control of the ball and possession that we saw in the first half with the lead, and not been able to get a grip on this one in the second half, and a few really good opportunities from Baltimore, but at this point just haven't been able to find the back of the net.
Alexander Shaw has had a strong game in central midfield for Miami that needed to be stretched out, and now the Herons will huddle up. Quick little conference with the whole squad. Kind of looked like a timeout was called there, didn't it?
Got to use every opportunity to communicate with your team, and Chris Nurse bringing the side in. You can see him pointing to his head to say, hey, we have the lead, remembering exactly where they are in this game, and Baltimore have disrupted things in this second half and gotten much more better control of this game.
Well, here they come again. Lemming from Winneck. Lemming, curler, and Simeon had it covered as it goes wide. Baltimore continuing to probe and test the Miami goal mouth, but yet to break through it. With just under 20 minutes and added time to go, their MLS Next Cup journey in danger of ending here this morning.
You know, if they feel they can equalize, that they'll like their chances in penalties. So I would imagine the game plan is to just try to get equal at this point. And they've had a number of penalty wins, including that last round, to get to this point. But still 20 minutes to go to see if they can equalize in this game.
Page tripped up by Chaz Williams. Free kick to Baltimore. And they're going to take a set piece here. Estrada will get on the ball as Gresham and McGuire, Wysong, all 3 center backs go forward. Fosu, big number 8 in there as well.
Yeah, Fosu has been the best target so far, but it's the second ball, the knockdowns, where they've been the most dangerous.
Here it comes. Fosu was there, but couldn't get it on target. Dijon Fosu a little shaken up, or perhaps just frustrated that he couldn't put that between the pipes, and it'll be another goal kick for Simeon. Ball bouncing along. Estrada settles it down. Estrada, who started this half as a second striker, has moved out wide here with Page coming into the game up top next to Sosa. Baltimore getting more and more attacking players on the field here, trailing 1-0. Estrada now at right wing back throws it in. And now Quentin John is down for Miami.
And it looks like a cramp by the reaction, and you can see his teammates coming over to try to help sort him out a little bit.
I saw some empathy from you there, Kalen. You've been there.
We've all been there.
Not me.
Safe.
You see the weather, though. It is already, I mean, this is not even 11 o'clock. And our feels like is in the mid-80s. It is muggy. It's rained a lot. There's a lot of moisture on the ground. And they are sort of perfect cramping conditions.
These are the conditions that you have to deal with when you navigate, you know, multiple matches in a week and a tournament and have to change the way you play a little bit. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more conservative. We even saw on Baltimore's side, Jan Hernandez went down and about 20 minutes in. He's been able to find his way back into the game. He's been maybe a bit more conservative and just managing these minutes, and for the managers to try to figure out, you know, how best to use them. But I would imagine at this point, he's going to have to come off and bring somebody else in.
Yeah, John trying to make it work. Those first few steps didn't look great, but you know how badly he's going to want to continue. He's been a big piece for Miami today. Imposing center back next to Kai Anthony McLean.
But the game state has shifted where, you know, both teams are playing very direct, not a lot of spells of possession, and I think, frankly, that's the way Baltimore would like it. We saw them come out of the game, set the tone as far as that being their game plan. They've picked and, you know, probed their moments to say, hey, we're going to keep the ball a little bit, but this type of game, I think, suits the way Baltimore would like to play and make it more of a scramble in these last 15 minutes.
Yeah, starting to enter what our friend Matt Doyle calls the tactics-free zone. Here's Page. He'll free it up. Oh, and it's a giveaway by Wysong, but Betancourt can't come away with it. McGuire just enough to evade Robbins. Winnick down the line for Fosu. And Fosu loses it. And there's Quentin John. Looking pretty good on those legs right here. Quentin John racing forward. Lays it back to Robbins. John limping back a little bit as he goes into the box for Betancourt. McGuire takes no chances. It's out for a corner.
That was a great run forward for John, who had to come off on the sideline and then burst forward. Showing some of the grit that it takes in these last 15 minutes. A long time to go, but that's what I'm saying. I'll have to be smart as far as managing those, where maybe it's smart at sometimes to just play the ball forward. Now you see him down again.
Yeah, I saw him kind of hopping back after he passed the ball off.
Yeah, but these are the moments I'm talking about as far as the experience of, you recognize there's 15 minutes left, you're cramping already. Maybe instead of taking that space yourself, you look to lay it off and keep possession, but you can't fault the desire or the ability from John there to show his attacking prowess or just wanting to get back in this match. But at some point, I think they may need to make a substitution and allow him to recover.
Miami hoping that they've got a couple more games here this week. They can see this one out and be on to the semifinals. John again trying to run out that leg that is just not cooperating at the moment.
Yeah, you can see the captain's armband passing off now over to Armando. I think he showed the leadership to want to stay in the match and fight as long as he could, even down to these last few minutes.
Corner coming from Miami as Daniel Toth replaces Quentin John. In it goes. Chelowich with the intervention, and Lemon gets it clear. Good looking ball there by Robbins. Chelowich had work to do. Now Robbins again. And a yellow card is coming to Estrada. Rightfully worried about Lucas Robbins and what he can do. Estrada booked. Now Robbins will get a free kick. Miami taking more time off the clock. They've been able to interrupt the momentum of Baltimore a little bit over these last 5-10 minutes. Robbins, line drive laser, bouncing around. Estrada couldn't hold it in, and it's a corner.
Yeah, and it's experienced here from Miami and Robbins just to draw the foul, take a few minutes, not to take anything with any haste, and then whip this ball in. I would imagine he'll take his time as well with this corner kick. And these are the few little details that in a knockout tournament, you have to make the most of these opportunities, be smart about them more than anything, to not allow anything in transition.
Two hands for Robbins, in it comes. Chelowich again just snags it. Looking to get out on the break. He's gonna boot it long. Sosa, it's a really nice touch. Sosa tripped up, and it's a free kick for Baltimore. Good center forward play there by Enzo Sosa.
Yeah, and he got position early, which was the key part. You don't need to go to the ball immediately. You need to seal off your man, and Sosa did a really good job of winning that position and now earning the free kick, setting up for Baltimore.
Yeah, and they're gonna, anything past the halfway line, they're gonna send everybody up here, it looks like. Estrada launches it. It ends up on the back end. McGuire, the cutback out for a corner off of Toth.
It's a really good ball in behind, and a lot of the attention has rightly fallen to Fosu, who's been the target, but just in behind, McGuire was able to creep there and brought it down well, tried to get it on that left foot to see if he could either square it across or have a go of it, but results in another corner kick.
Estrada for the corner. Baltimore with less than 10 minutes to 90, trying to keep their tournament alive. In it comes, Simeone punches away. He's got a paw on that one. And it's a goal kick off of Gresham as Miami relieves the pressure once again. A 13th minute goal from Arturo Corrales, who was long subbed out of this game, is holding up for Inter Miami. Marco Simeone has come up with some big stops to keep Baltimore off the score sheet. Pushed out by Ortella for a throw-in. Gresham hurling it up the line, looking for Fosu. Could he keep it in? No. All hands on deck here for Miami defensively. Ortella trying to hurl it up the line. He'll get another throw-in. Toth heading forward, Robbins flicking along. A shot from Shaw. And that won't come to anything as Chelowich runs it down. Here's the free kick from Zach Chelowich. He launches it ahead. Looking for Page. Ortella bounces off of the Miami defender and out for a corner. Baltimore just putting it in the mixer. Can they get the bounce to go their way? 83rd minute here as Estrada lines up the corner kick. Laser right to the first post, cleared away by Miami. Winnick, fouled by Betancourt. And this is a dangerous set piece from straight on here for Baltimore.
But you mentioned the trajectory of this one too far to go directly from here, so either try to drop this one just right on top of the penalty spot and send runners across, or you look to the back post most likely. That's where Fosu is set up, and then looking for the nod down across.
Winnick lumps it right to that way, but too far, and Simeone hangs on to it. Not a good ball out by the goalkeeper, but Lemming can't get to that one from Winnick.
Yeah, just a little bit rushed here from Baltimore, and there's plenty of time left. There's no need to try to go so direct at all times, and they've actually set themselves up in a good position to maybe catch Miami off guard with maybe playing short on one of these corners or taking one of these set pieces to feet, and instead it just seems like they're treating the match a little bit like it's the last 90 seconds or we're in extra time already, and
here they go again.
There's a little more time than maybe they feel right now at this stage of the game to try to catch Miami and see if they can catch them unaware.
And the foul by Rodriguez. Winnick gonna blast it in there towards Page. Bounces up over him. Cut back across. Estrada way under it. Off the laces and spinning out for another goal kick. You're right, though. Still a lot of time for Miami to see this out. They have suffered in this second half. They had really total control in the first 45 minutes. They had earned their lead. Maybe would argue they could have had another goal or two. And instead, Baltimore has turned this thing around. They've put together a great effort, but can they find that equalizer here down near the end? Toth for Miami. Betancourt lays it off for Robbins. They try to go 1-2. Pushed away by McGuire. Back to Robbins. Off of Betancourt, and Chelowich will take command. That's a lot of Betancourt holding play up here in the second half, and there's been 2 or 3 defenders around him. Estrada trying to beat Williams and draws a free kick. Surely they will not send everybody up. Here they go from well behind halfway. Look at the run up Estrada's going to take for this. And he did not have the leg to get it all the way down there. It's broken up by Armando, or pardon, McLean. Now it comes back to Miami. They've got some open field to work with. Robbins, beautiful slicing ball forward. Betancourt takes a touch, sends his man the wrong way. Betancourt gets it way up and over the bar.
And as Baltimore push forward, you're going to have numbers in transition. A really good ball from Robbins to release Betancourt, and this is a clever little cutback, and he's just trying to get it on that left foot, and it just gets a little bit away from him where he has to reach for it. Ends up getting underneath it, but there may be another opportunity for Miami in transition as Baltimore steps forward.
Go get the ball. There you go, Jay.
Baltimore in possession here, 3 minutes to 90. Wysong looking for Estrada. It'll fall for Fosu. Lumps it forward. Sosa won't beat Urquidy. Throw in coming for Estrada. 88th minute. Baltimore looking for late drama. And it looks like they're going to take the long throw in here. See who sets up for it. Hernandez was the long thrower earlier. He is off, so it'll be Gresham, who's almost back into the warm-up of the next game as he goes to launch this one in. Baltimore taking any opportunity they can find to put the ball in the box, which is becoming more and more common as set pieces take hold of the modern game. There's a Miami player down behind everything. Saw Quentin John have to leave the game with a cramp earlier. This looks like Alexander Shaw.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be a significant amount of added time to this game with the number of times we've seen this picture right here of players from both teams, frankly, going down with cramps. As of late, it's been more Miami suffering, trying to keep that 1-0 lead in these dying few moments of the game, but it might actually be a longer ride for them than expected once we see the number that comes up just as we cross the 90, and Baltimore will continue to push, make no mistake about it, to try to survive their way through and get to penalties with Celowicz and give themselves a chance again to continue in this tournament.
Shaw going to keep on here. You see him gingerly moving out, the 58 for Miami. So Gresham set up to throw it in. Hurled into the box, and it nearly fell for Maguire, and it bounces off for a corner. Simeone got tied up with his own man.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication here as the deflection comes off there, and it's actually Armando that comes across and just heads it out to safety, but gives up the corner.
Estrada launches it in, flicked along. Betancourt got in there in front of Wysong. And a foul on Baltimore in the box. Free kick Miami. Now we'll see how much time is added on here. As you mentioned, Kalen, should be quite a bit.
Get your mind off it. Get your mind off it.
10 minutes, we're hearing, have been added on here at the end of the game.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen so far, and 10 minutes may feel like an hour for Miami, the way they've had to deal with the waves of pressure coming from Baltimore and the direct play from both sides. And a few ways to kill a game. Getting that second goal would do a lot.
Oh, here they come. It's Isaias Rodriguez and Celowicz with a huge save to keep Baltimore in it. Betancourt did so well. Great touch, slipped in Rodriguez, and Celowicz with a massive 1v1 stop. There's a reason he's one of the highest regarded goalkeepers at this tournament.
Yeah, he has done his part. You can see just a little slip ball in behind, and it's a one-on-one, and the low ones are sometimes difficult for goalkeepers of that stature, and Celowicz does well to get down low to it and block that opportunity.
Robbins' ball is turned away. Now back to Baltimore. Here they come. Estrada from the right. Williams closes him down. Estrada trying to stay with it, but Williams wins it away. Nicely done by the substitute for Miami. Betancourt and Robbins. Estrada coming all the way back, wins a throw-in.
Great work there from Estrada, just to track back and do the dirty work. He's come in the second half and immediately printed himself on this match. Now going to retrieve it from the other match. I don't know if there was maybe not a ball closer, but 10 minutes, have to do everything you can to try to speed this game up for Baltimore.
Yeah, there's been a sense of urgency for the Armour really for the last 10 minutes here. They know the stakes. Estrada. Page, good touch. It's broken up by Armando. And a foul on, or no, just a throw in off of Maguire. I think that's the first time I've been tricked by a whistle from another game. I'm proud of myself that I made it in the second half stoppage time.
There's a lot of action here.
Yes.
This tournament.
Toth, well done to keep the ball for Miami. Robbins to Toth, and it squeezes back out to Celowicz. He's gonna go quickly. Hurls it out to Lemming. Cuellar. Fosu. Popped the other way by Urquidi. Toth for Miami again. Broken up by Winnick. There we've seen Robbins lose the ball like that. Now it's lumped forward. They play in Estrada. And Armando again coming up with a big play. Out it goes for a Baltimore throw.
Yeah, but still plenty of time left for Baltimore to see if they can get another chance or two. And this has been the man they've targeted throughout the second half. With Fosu, it's generally been the knockdowns from there that have been the most dangerous opportunities so far.
Another long throw for Jackson Gresham. He'll take it back into the feet of Cuellar. He launches it in. Flicked along, but off of Shaw, cleared away by Toth.
Yeah, but that's much better from Baltimore to just switch it up a little bit. Instead of going direct with the throw, you go short. You can whip a ball in from feet and got to vary it up a bit.
Good move there by Cuellar. Broken up by Williams. Another throw in on the way for the Armour with less than 6 minutes to go. Gresham will line up for another one. This one thrown into the box. Fosu flicks along. Headed away by McLean. Cuellar. Page! Wide. And a goal kick for Simeone. Catch the future stars of MLS in action at the 2025 MLS Next All-Star Game, presented by Allstate, as 44 of the best young talents from across North America face off in an East versus West showdown, streaming Monday, July 21st at 7:30 p.m. Central from Palmer Field, home of Austin FC2, only on the MLS YouTube channel. You can join us in Austin, watch the game live. Admission is free and open to the public. Don't miss your chance to see the next generation of stars take center stage.
I am excited for that one. I have been, maybe call it nostalgia, but I have been calling for East versus West at an All-Star game. And now MLS Next has given it to me, so I will be tuning in for that one. Make no mistake about it.
Williams coming up the left here for Miami. Try to play a little keep away. Working against Estrada and Lemming. And the Baltimore defenders finally come away with it. They can't keep it. Fall kindly for Winnick. Estrada looking for Chase Page. McLean heads away with authority. Less than 4 minutes to go. Inter Miami can smell the semifinals. It's Ortella. He's going the distance here. Broken up nicely by Gresham. Cuellar up the line. Page looking to run onto it. On his horse. It's out of play for a throw-in. Miami will be able to wind some more clock here. Maybe not the way they would have wanted the second half to go necessarily, but they have done so well to suffer and survive. 3 minutes left to move on. It's Jeremiah Maguire. This ball up the line for Lemming. Winnick, little 1-2. Urquidi got in the way, and it'll bounce out for a goal kick. The Armour maybe just running out of gas a little bit here at the end.
That's good work from Toth there to track the 1-2 in behind. And frankly, Baltimore could have used some more of those combinations throughout this second half. Winnick looking for the 1-2, just varying it up instead of going a little bit too much of one note from my perspective in the second half. And it's been a bit predictable, but still hoping for just one opportunity to see if you can find your way level in this game.
They're going to get a throw in here as Urquidi sends it onto the other field. 2 minutes to go. Inter Miami 1, Baltimore Armour 0. This has been the scoreline since the 13th minute when Arturo Corrales gave Miami the lead. Gresham again navigating the equipment bags to set up this throw-in. Into the box it goes. Wysong trying to flick it along, but Betancourt gets it clear. Just over a minute to go. Gresham again throws it as far as he can. Fosu doesn't find a teammate. Armando with the clearance. Falls for Estrada. Estrada sends it towards Fosu. He's fouled by Ortella. And Baltimore will have a free kick here in the final minute. Perhaps one last set piece here for the Armour. And they're going to bring Chelowich, the goalkeeper, up. One last chance to extend their MLS Next Cup. Estrada towards the back of the area, headed along right to Simeon, who falls on top of it.
Goalie's out.
Marco Simeon seconds away from a big-time clean sheet. Nearing 100 minutes on the clock. Is there another chance for Baltimore in this? Knocked away by Armando. Looks like Baltimore's going to get one more throw here. Everybody forward again. And it comes from Gresham. Fosu goes down, referee waves it away. Still going, Cuellar launches it forward towards the back of the area, and there's Winnick at point-blank range, pops it up over the bar. Nobody covered Winnick at the back post. The best chance of the game for Baltimore at the death.
And it sets up so well here, right on top of the 6, and goes for power and just gets underneath it. It's a wonderful opportunity for Baltimore. I've been pressing all in the second half, and what a gilt-edge opportunity right on the doorstep that goes missing, and there it is.
Inter Miami survives. Or do they? Not yet. We heard a whistle, but it wasn't full time here. It's not sure why we're waiting, but Simeon falls on top of it. And this is our full-time whistle. So yes, Inter Miami will move on to the semifinals of the U17 MLS Next Cup playoffs. Arturo Corrales in the 13th minute with the winning goal. It goes over 101 in the end, but Miami hang on. Lucas Robbins, our man of the match, setting up the opening goal and commanding from the number 10 position for Miami.
Yeah, he was excellent, especially in the first half, setting the tone in this match and finding those spaces in between the lines, the outside of the right foot ball to release in space. Cortez then slips it back to him. He doesn't stop his run, continues it, then picks out the back post. And a fantastic finish there on the end of it for Inter Miami. Corrales with an easy tap in, but full credit to Robbins for creating that opportunity in the first half, and that's the difference.
Tremendous effort in the second half from Baltimore. Left it all out there and got their very best look at the very end of the game. But ultimately not enough as Miami moves on to the semifinals. More action coming up. Cedar Stars Academy Bergen and the New York Red Bulls kicking off at 11:30 here from the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex. For Kalen Carr, my name's Evan Weston. Thanks for joining us. It's Miami on to the semis with a 1-0 win.
This copyrighted broadcast of the 2025 MLS NEXT Cup may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer and Player Development, LLC.